What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update and stimulus check update, and inflation and recession, which we're probably already in a recession here, according to a lot of indicators here, including the GDP, which for the first quarter of the US actually went down for the first time in quite a while here in the US. We got a lot of breaking news here, including the Supreme Court leak here that they could be overturning Roe versus Wade, and a major decision coming here later today as well. We'll get to that here also in this video. If you're new to our YouTube channel, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. So yeah, the Supreme Court has confirmed that this is a real document that has been, I guess, illegally leaked. As you can see here, the Supreme Court says this is real. It is real. And the Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts has confirmed that it is a real document, and that the court could potentially overturn the Roe versus Wade abortion rights law. And if they do, that this could make it be illegal. And the current information coming out is that very quickly, potential 26 states may outlaw it. And it's yet to be determined when this will happen, if this will happen. But the document has been confirmed by the Supreme Court that it's real. They just have not made a actual ruling on it yet. But now that this has come out, it's probably we're gonna get more information here very quickly. But 26 states are expected to give a it's typically more Republican governed states here. It's weird how this is a Democrat versus Republican thing. It's really it's kind of weird on that. It's kind of weird on that. But yeah, very strange on that. But yeah, and the Supreme Court Justice John Roberts has the marshal of the court launching an investigation into the source of the leak. And there's already protests going on across the country here. Roe v. Wade has been in effect as law by over 50 years, could be overturned now just because there's new Supreme Court justices here with, I guess, different opinions. That's where, Supreme Court law gets a little tricky, because the law can be changed because different Supreme Court justices have a different opinion, because that's what we're talking about here. A different Supreme Court justice or two can change the law because they have a different opinion. And then thereby this will affect hundreds of millions of people, tens of millions of people, and the law will change. Yeah, and the question here is, does the government have the right to tell a woman what she can and can't do with their body? And everybody has a different opinion on this. This is where it kind of gets a little sticky, because you literally can read the comments and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But that's where it gets tricky, because if the government can tell you what to do with your own body, then you're not really entitled to your own opinion, are you? And that's where, yeah, it gets tricky. Here's what the Vice President of the United States has to say here. In fact, our first ever woman Vice President. Here's what she has to say. Check this out.
Now, at this very moment, Roe v. Wade remains the law of the land. But let's talk about what a world without Roe looks like. Women in almost half the country could see their access to abortion severely limited. In 13 of those states, Women would lose access to abortion immediately and outright. Those Republican leaders who are trying to weaponize the use of the law against women, well, we say, how dare they? How dare they tell a woman what she can do and cannot do with her own body? How dare they? How dare they try to stop her from determining her own future? How dare they try to deny women their rights and their freedoms? You know, 3 years ago, when I was the United States Senator, I asked a question. Can you think of any laws that give the government power to make decisions about the male body? And the response, you'll recall, was essentially, can't think of any. So when we look at the big picture, those who attack Roe have been clear. They want to ban abortion in every state. They want to bully anyone who seeks or provides reproductive health care. And they want to criminalize and punish women for making these decisions. At its core, Roe recognizes the fundamental right to privacy.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts there in the comments. And I totally get it. Everybody has their own opinion on this, and um, it's a very controversial subject. In fact, I haven't really talked about it here on our show, um, and probably ever, because it's just not really one of those subjects that I really get into. But now that it's going to be a major, major thing for our country here, probably if this gets overturned here, um, really it's almost unavoidable to not talk about here. This is what we do on our show. We talk about everything going on here in our country and what's affecting people. Stimulus, daily news, anything that's going on here on a daily basis. Um, you know, and Yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here. And really, I thought the comments on our video for last night was pretty good. I thought, people talking about the baby's rights, the mom rights, and I get it. I can agree with a lot of people's opinions, um, and really that's the core of what we're talking about here. Is that should people have the right to an opinion, or should the government say, no, you don't have a right to opinion. The government is going to force you and tell you what to do, similar to what they do in Russia and China. That's kind of the broad kind of dome on top of this here, is that should the government be allowed to force you and tell you what to do or not? And that's where the word mandate kind of comes in here, and that's where we've seen a lot of people fighting those here, uh, and just here recently as well. And we talked about that here as well as also, and the word freedom comes to mind here, because when the government forces you to be able to not be able to choose your body, what to do, that's where we kind of get into a very sticky situation. And I, like I said, I can agree with arguments on both sides of the coin. The baby's life and the mom's choice, and there's tough situations on both, where the mom may have complications. It's dangerous for her in some cases to give birth. In fact, my wife almost died when she gave birth to our son Julian. She had preeclampsia. Everything worked out. Of course, you've seen Julian on our show. He just turned 4. But there's cases like that. There's cases of rape. Um, you can't paint a broad picture here. Um, and then there's, you have to think of the baby in mind as well. But and that's kind of where you go with the woman would make the choice, right? Everybody's different, right? There's millions and millions of people, and you can't really put yourself in somebody's shoes, right? I wouldn't make a decision for you. I don't know your decision. I seen some comments of some people that said, they work at hospitals and stuff like that, and they said the a large majority of the people they see there are teenagers, teenage girls, and they're women that just are very, very, very young and immature, and it's just totally different mindset, for someone who's 16 years old than, somebody who's, 30, 35, and has, kind of rationalized and thought this process through. So, yeah, the question here is the government going to force women and tell them what to do? Can We're going to find out here. We're going to find out. They're already protesting, um, on both sides. On both sides. Some for, some against, and let's hope we don't have problems with the protests again like we had here recently. Yeah, I mean that wasn't a good situation for anybody. It's a really tough situation. I don't know the answer, and only God knows the answer, and we can only try to figure it out here the best. The thing about the Supreme Court is that the majority of the Supreme Court is men. I'm a man. I wouldn't want to tell a woman what to do with her body. I'd say, no, you make the decision because it's not my body. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So, also, I'll try to get my wife here on the show. If you watched last night's video when this story broke, she had her opinion on here for a moment, and I'll try to get her. She's been on the show here before. If you've been watching my channel here, um, and I'll try to get her on the show here maybe in the next few episodes for her thoughts and her opinion. But like I said, these are just everybody has their own opinion. So feel free to have your opinion. And like I said, that's the nice thing about America is that we all have our own opinions. People have completely different opinions, left, right, and center, or Democrat, Republican, or down the middle, or not. Different religious opinions and stuff. But I feel like when the government forces you to the government's going to make your opinion, and we're talking about the opinion of 9 people on a Supreme Court is going to they're going to make the decision for you. Then it's not really your opinion. It's not your choice. These 9 people, primarily men, are making the decision for millions of women. I'm not sure if that's the right decision. But we have a Supreme Court, so yeah. And yet, what's interesting is that this is also kind of how our laws are made. Well, it is how our laws are made, but not well. The Supreme Court, and then also Congress. We think about how stimulus was passed, and through Congress, and stimulus check one, stimulus check two, stimulus check three, but through different platforms per se. Stimulus check one and stimulus check two was bipartisanship. Underneath former President Donald Trump, we had a Republican Senate underneath Mitch McConnell, and a Republican-controlled majority Senate. I should say, and Democratic majority-controlled House, and then Trump, a Republican president. Bipartisanship came together for stimulus check one, stimulus check two. But then, and there was a lot of other stuff in there: rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, paycheck protection program in there for small business owners, and which also helped pay the paychecks of millions of Americans. We had unemployment bonuses. We had a lot of different things in there: SNAP benefit bonuses, which are still going on in a lot of states. And then the second stimulus check was actually passed in December of 2020, right before Biden came into office, President Biden, um, literally a month later. And then all of a sudden, the Republicans said they didn't want to pass any more stimulus. And that's where that second stimulus check was passed in December, bipartisanship, Democrats and Republicans. And so Trump passed two stimulus checks together with Democrats, but then all of a sudden Republicans didn't want to pass anything else a month later when Biden came into office. Even though the Republican majority, passed two stimulus checks, and their first stimulus package alone was around 2.2 trillion, they forced the Democrats to pass it on their own, the third stimulus check, through the reconciliation process, because not a single Republican voted yes on anything. So that makes it much more harder, because you got to get Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema to agree on everything, which they did do for the third stimulus check package, the $1,400 checks, and the $1,400 checks for adult dependents and college students, and $1,400 checks for children, and the rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, and the child tax credits, although they have now expired. Okay. Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema did vote for that package. I always get some comments that, some people forget that the Democrats passed that and no Republicans at all voted for that. The child tax credits were for that, and the $1,400 stimulus checks for that. But the problem here now is that Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, Joe Manchin's working on this new version of the stimulus package here with the Democrats, okay? But if we got any Republican help, we could pass another package, even just a single vote or two, like Mitt Romney. Well, no, we would need more than a single vote. I mean, we could get a single vote and then do it through the reconciliation process. That's an option. That is actually a very good option. But if we had Republican help, like we had with stimulus check one and stimulus check two, right? It's just so partisan that, or what's the word I'm looking for? That I don't know the word I'm looking for. Maybe you can help me out here in the comments. But how they just changed their opinion all of a sudden. They were for stimulus in December, and then Biden comes into office, and then no, all of a sudden we don't want to pass anything else a month later. I mean, come on. Did people just all of a sudden not need help anymore? Now the Democrats were able to pass that next package, but that's kind of the problem we've been in here now. And then, here we are. Now all these states have all this stimulus money and been passing stimulus packages, okay? And that's where we kind of have all these good headlines of, all these states passing stimulus checks and all these new good packages and all this SNAP money. In fact, let me show you a quick screen here. Here is the SNAP benefits here for May, updated list. So yeah, here is the May 2022 SNAP benefits for May so far. It's only May 4th, so there will be a few more states and maybe territories that are added on here. I know that some people have commented in the comment section that says some states have ended them. And yeah, I know that's unfortunate. I don't know why, but I mean, I do know why. It's a money thing, um, you know, and yeah, that's just unfortunate. I know that one of them is Kentucky. I'll show you this here briefly. The governor of Kentucky, who's a Democrat, actually had to override the Republican state legislature and fought it and got an extra month of SNAP benefits for the people of Kentucky. I'll show you here, right here. You can see here the Kentucky governor, who's named Andy Beshear. has called the legislation to end the emergency in the state, which would result in a large decrease in monthly SNAP benefits, a cruel bill that would significantly hurt residents of rural counties. But Republicans in charge instead furthered the myth that welfare recipients don't want to work and said help wanted signs are up everywhere. Republican Senate Majority Leader Damon Thayer said in a floor speech and said, quote, if you are able-bodied, healthy Kentuckian, there is no excuse for you to not have a job. So this kind of gives you an idea on why some states are cutting some SNAP benefits or food benefits, but the problem is, as we've said before, even as I think, you can't paint people with a broad brush like that. When we think about food benefits and SNAP benefits, I'll go back to the screen here while I'm talking. Here's the SNAP benefits for May, the states that have already announced it for May. Um, by the way, the Kentucky governor did get that extra 1 month of SNAP benefits for, I think it was last month. Uh, the state of Kentucky, the legislature didn't even want to give that. The governor overrode it with a veto so that they would get 1 month extra by vetoing it. But yes, the problem with saying people that, I mean, there's people on Social Security who don't work anymore. They're literally in retirement age. There's people who are disabled. There's people who can't work. There's people that you can't expect everybody to fall in that able-bodied working category, right? So this is the problem here with just cutting off everybody off these extra SNAP food benefits, okay? So remember, this is extra money from the pandemic. This is literally a stimulus benefit here. So here's all the states that have acknowledged extra stimulus SNAP benefits for May so far: Alabama, Alaska, California, Colorado, Delaware, District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. There will be probably more that are added throughout the month, because if you look at April here, this is all the states that were added throughout April. And remember, it's only May 4th. It's sometimes they don't all get added on May 1st or anything like that. Some states it just takes them even a week or two or sometimes into the month, okay? I'll actually scroll down here a little bit because I know I'm going to be in the corner a little bit to kind of show you here. But this is last month. This is April. I just wanted to kind of show you all the states that were there for April that did it for April. So there's still a lot of states giving this extra SNAP money to show you how many are still doing it for May. So there's going to be more here that will probably there'll probably be a few more added here for May. Also, for pandemic EBT stimulus benefits, this is school money for um, school children. This is another stimulus benefit. It's called pandemic EBT. Literally has the word pandemic in here. Um, this is money that's literally there because of the pandemic. You can see all the states that have announced extra school money for school children. They basically give you money for school lunch programs. Alabama, American Samoa, which is a U.S. territory, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Indiana, Kentucky, Maine, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, Texas, Tennessee, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. That list has been growing as well. Again, this is for pandemic EBT school year. um, 2021, 2022. So again, there's still stimulus benefits like these still going on, and these SNAP benefits are extra SNAP benefits that can be about $95 per person um, for per month, per person per month extra on top of your normal SNAP benefits. So it definitely can add up, you know. So I'd like to see more and more states continue doing this. And remember, um, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll also link you to another food benefit for seniors and others that you might not even know about here. I'll link you to it right now. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. Remember that new videos come out here every day on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After subscribing down below, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you get a notification every time we go live. So you can just click it and you'll get the newest video as soon as we go live. So click that bell icon right next to the subscribe button. You can click here to watch my newest video next. Up here is that other video about food benefits for seniors and others that you might not know about. And down here is my newest stimulus check video that you can check out here as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.